All right, all right. Okay, it says, I was watching the news. I was watching CNN, and then I found I was like, I need to talk about this. I'm not going to say too much about it. I'm not going to dwell on it. People change. It's called see the light. Sometimes people see the light, sometimes they don't. And you can see the light, right? We call it, you can see the light in a bad way, and you can see the bright light, or you can see the dark light. You choose which one, which path, and which road you want to, are you going to go through the dark road or the bright road? And for this, for Marjorie Taylor Greene, Marjorie, what? You know, I said Marjorie one time, and then I just said there's an R. Marjorie Taylor Greene. For Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think with this health benefit issue, the ACH is ACH, right? Obamacare, a lot of people are on it. Like sometimes I'm not on Obamacare. I pay over $500 every month for my health care, for my health insurance, right? As a small business owner, right? And I do my business from home. I'm a single mom. Don't work outside of my own stuff that I do. So I pay my own health insurance. I've been doing it since 2017, 2016. I've been paying my own health insurance. And right now, I don't even like to look at it, right? And I only use it once a year. And that's for my checkups. Once a year. And I've never been, for over 20 something years, I've never been to the hospital except when I was pregnant. And then my yearly checkups, just like dental too, once a year. Well, my dental is twice a year. When I get lazy, I do it once a year. I don't use the health insurance, but the reason for health insurance is in case if anything bigger happens. You know what I'm saying? If anything, that's why when some people are like, oh my God, there's no way I will pay that. I'm like, if I can buy a shoe or buy jewelries for $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, why can't I pay almost $600? I think my health insurance is like $615 right now. $618, $615. Yeah, I think so if I check it. But I'm like, if I can spend money on material stuff, why can't I spend money on my health? Like, I feel like paying for health insurance right now is kind of like an investment, right? It's like buying a Birkin bag, like an immense bag for like 20-something thousand or 30-something $1,000. In the future, it's an investment, but not really, because I just did that recently. And unless you buy it straight from the store, because it's a lot cheaper at the store. But anyway, I don't want to go to the material stuff, but I'm just using them as an example. Like, health insurance is an investment. I always say if you have a car insurance, even if it's mandatory, you should have, there's no reason why you shouldn't have health insurance. Health insurance first before car insurance. I know we can argue that all day, but that's how I see it. If I have a car insurance, I'm definitely going to have a health insurance. I'll have a health insurance first before I have car insurance, which my car insurance and my health insurance are almost the same. My health insurance is just slightly higher than my car insurance. Please, I don't even want to think about it. It keeps me headache that I pay. But anyway, you have to do those things. That's life. Health is wealth, right? So anything can happen. God forbid you can wake up tomorrow and they said you have a disease that's going to cost you so much money, and then you have health insurance that covers it, right? And you only have to pay not too much out of pocket. That's good. So you look back and say, thank God I had health insurance all these years, right? So, but Obamacare is way lower, right? From what I know, is lower. And it benefits a lot of people. It don't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, whatever you are. It don't matter. Like, it benefits a lot of people. And now, I saw it somewhere where Marjorie Greene was saying that now she's worried about her and her kids. Her kids are older, right? So now they offer insurance or something like that. And her kids are worried now, like, how are they going to take care of their health, their insurance, if the ACH, which is the Obamacare, doesn't go through. Republicans are blaming, because I'm not going to blame anybody here, right? Republicans are blaming Democrats are blaming Republicans. But at the end of the day, we're all human beings. And now Marjorie Taylor Greene is mad at the Republicans. Whether it's because she's talking about it because it benefits her or not, but she's talking about it. And a lot of Republicans too, right? Especially the MAGA movement people listen to her. And now she's mad because this is affecting her, because you know what they say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But sometimes people forget. I always say, when something happens, right? And people say, oh, it doesn't have anything to do with me. For me, anything that happens in this society, especially in the United States, has something to do with me. You know why? If you feel like something doesn't have anything to do with you today, but you forget, like in the future, what if it happens to you? Do you know what I'm saying? We're also very much like, quickly, it has nothing to do with me. I don't have to worry about that. No, I do worry, because if it doesn't have anything to do with me right now, what about in the future? What about your kids, your family members, something? So I always look at those things and say, when people say Obamacare, I know some Republicans or welfare or something says, oh, it shouldn't happen or whatever. There shouldn't be something like Obamacare, or they don't like Obamacare. But do you know how many people, even Republicans, Democrats are fine with Obamacare. Let's just say Republicans right now. Do you know how many, a lot of Republicans are in it? Didn't they we just found out the other time, who was this Senate that was preaching in front of, oh, wait. Because they caught him red-handed, like, you and your family, you guys are on Obamacare, but you're voting something completely different. So it's like a facade. It's like a face, like wearing a mask. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I commend her for not just sitting back and saying, oh, people don't need to know that this is going to affect me and my household. But she came out to say, she blames Republicans for this. Republicans are to blame for this. Even if it is affecting her and her kids now, or family members. But her speaking up will also help other people too to see it like, okay. And it makes her a human being. Like, we human beings can flip-flop as much as we want. Like I tell my daughter, she'll be like, that's not what you said. I'm like, I have the right to change my mind. Okay? We human beings can flip-flop. Like Marjorie Greene, when I saw that, I was like, that's called being a human being. It don't matter every other things that all the nasty stuff she had said. People call her racist. People call her all different kind of names. I don't call her nothing. Politics. You have to understand politics. I'm from Africa. I've spent most of my life here. But at the end, you have to understand how politics works. Sorry, people. Hold on. Yeah, so now she's fighting for like ACH, Obamacare to stand and not get cancelled and not get taken off, and which that's what Democrats, that's what they're fighting for. So let's just make sure that in the reason why I'm saying this, she's mad at Republicans right now, and including Donald Trump. Let's play this. When CNN asked her, have you spoken to Donald Trump yet? Do you know what she said? She said, he has my number. So if he can pick up the phone and call me. And we know we've been hearing like yada, and she's been throwing subliminals all out about being mad at the what Trump and Trump's people are doing right now. She was supposed to be a part of them. They've literally like pushed her out. So now she's not happy about these things. Let's listen to what she has to say. Listen.
For the short-term funding bill, but now you're talking about this healthcare issue. Help us better understand. Why now?
Well, actually, this is something I talked about when I first ran for Congress in 2020, because I grew up in a construction company family. Bought that company after college and retired my parents. And after the ACA was passed,
the Affordable Care Act.
Yes, the Affordable Care Act, our family's health insurance premium went from $800.
The ACA, the Affordable Care Act, is the Obamacare. They don't like to say Obamacare. So let's just...
a month to $2,400 a month. So I've known about this as a major problem for a long time. It's not just ACA recipients whose premiums are going to skyrocket very soon. It has been a disaster for many Americans across the board. And cost of living is so high now. Many of my constituents, many of my friends, and even my own children are finding health insurance to be extremely unaffordable and something that they are having to go without. So I think this is an incredibly important issue. I think it is a crisis. I don't think it's something to wear political party team jerseys on.
No,
I think it's something that we
I
have
agree.
to address and fix.
That's very personal for you.
Very personal. It's affected my own life. And the Affordable Care Act was passed in 2010. So we're 15 years down the road, and the industry has changed drastically. Many companies dropped out of the market. We've seen doctors stop having their own practices and become hospital employees. We now have to import doctors because we don't have enough. Healthcare has drastically changed, and I'm one of those that gets real tired of political drama when it's not actually solving a problem. And this is such a crisis that I'm willing to say, okay, everyone, we have to do something about this. It shouldn't be something that we dangle the American people or military pay or all of these things. We shouldn't be dangling them back and forth. We have to fix it.
And it's very, what are you hearing from your constituents right now? And
Oh, sorry,
any
guys.
regrets about voting for that short-term continuing resolution, that spending bill?
Thank you for that question. Number one, I am a Republican, and I support the president. I was very vocal about I didn't want to vote for a CR. I want to pass our appropriations. That's our constitutional duty, and I want to bring that taxpayer dollars back to my district. I work hard on that, so that was important to me. But I support the president, and I voted for the CR. Number two, what am I hearing from my constituents? It's great. We track all the calls that come into my office. About 60% of the calls coming in right now are calls of support and saying, yes, health insurance is a crisis. They're telling us stories about how they're already paying $2,000 a month with $10,000 deductibles. I'm getting phone calls from people that are saying if the ACA tax credits expire, they aren't going to be able to have health insurance. They're going to have to drop it. But I'm hearing from people on both sides, people already on the ACA and people that are already getting crushed by high health insurance premiums.
I want to ask you about this new Washington Post poll. It shows that 47% of Americans believe that President Trump and the Republicans are mainly responsible for the shutdown. You see it here on the screen, compared to just 30% of Americans who blame Democrats. Of course, Republicans are the ones with the power. Do you agree with Americans in that poll that see the shutdown as your party's fault?
You know what? I don't think the shutdown is popular for either side. And so I see the shutdown completely different from maybe my party leadership. And I'm not putting the blame on the president. I'm actually putting the blame on the speaker and Leader Thune in the Senate. This should not be happening. And I don't think, look, as a member of Congress, we already have a low enough job approval rating. This shutdown is just going to drive everybody's approval rating that much lower.
But so you're putting the blame on the leadership of your party.
Absolutely. We control the House. We control the Senate. We have the White House. I've been vocal saying, you can use the nuclear option in the Senate. This doesn't have to be a shutdown. But what we have to do is we have to work for the American people. And our country is so divided right now. We see it all the time in every single way. It's divided in what I would say very dangerous ways. And we saw that with the recent assassination of Charlie Kirk, which has upset so many people across the board.
That was terrible.
And look, when it comes to hearing from senior citizens or my own friends and neighbors and my own family members and people that voted for me, and they're just saying, Marjorie, we just really want somebody to do something about health insurance premiums. We really want our government and our leaders to actually focus on our country.
All right.
Change.
I'll stop it there. And then at some point, they ask her again. They ask her, like, have you spoken to Donald Trump yet? And she goes, no, but he has my number. He can call me. So there's a rift, right, between them. But I like, as you guys heard what she said about the ACA, the Affordable Care Health. It's going to skyrocket soon. It's going to go high. And most people, and I don't want it for nobody. My insurance is already high, but there are some people that can't afford a high insurance, but they need to be able to take care health-wise of their family. They need to be able to take care of themselves health-wise. They need to be able to go for checkups. They need to be able to go see doctors. They need to prescriptions. You know what I'm saying? So these things, some people don't know how much it affects people. I know people that this thing can affect, and I worry about them, even if it has nothing to do with me or my daughter. My daughter has great health insurance, right? They always say NFL health insurance is the best health insurance. She has Cigna with NFL. So she's going to have that until she's like late 20s, right? So, but it has nothing to do with me or my daughter, but I know people that this could affect. So sometimes when people are like, oh, it has nothing to do with me, it's like Marjorie Green now. Now it's affecting her household, so now she's speaking and her constituents. Yeah, right? They're calling her and telling her about mostly this health ACH law that is about to expire. They won't be able to use their credits. So what are they going to do? There was a lady that called on the show. Was it C-SPAN? When Mike Johnson was on C-SPAN News. And the lady called crying, talking about how if this expires, she's not going to have credit, and she doesn't have that kind of money to spend medically, and she has 2 kids that needs consistent health care benefits. And I felt so bad, like my heart sunk when I was listening to that lady talk to Mike Johnson on C-SPAN. She even told Mike Johnson, you should be ashamed of yourself. And she's a military wife. She has 2 kids. That if this goes on and this law goes and they agree to this law and health insurance skyrockets, she said her kids may die. They're not going to be able to afford it. So what are they going to do? People like that, what do they do? Like at the end of the day, we're humans. And I'm just going to say shame on the government for what's going on. Because these things on both sides can easily be done. But because both sides are just being stubborn, but they forget there are human lives that are at stake here. So I'm going to leave it here. Let me know what you guys think. I just said I should bring it. You know, for Marjorie Green to come out and be talking about ACH, it says 15, 16 years ago, whatever. They call it ACH, and it was renewed in 2020. It's still Obamacare. It's the Affordable Care Act. But most people, we all call it Obamacare. It helps a lot of households. So it don't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, a lot of people use this. And if it skyrockets, people are not going to be able to afford it. And that's going to be another bad news for this country. When in the first place, like Europe, there should be free health care anyways. In #1 country in the world, there's no free health care. The least they can do is make sure this affordable health care is good. And it benefits the people of the United States of America. So let me know what you guys think. I'm going to leave this here. And leave a comment. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys later. You guys, bye.